What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dirty Degens. I'm your host, Josh, and I'm finally getting back in the saddle. I wanted to do more streams when I was at Token and in Dubai, but unfortunately, my hotel had a upload speed of about half a megabyte, so that wasn't going to happen. I tried to upload a video, and it uploaded for about 7 hours and errored out. So my hands were kind of tied. And then coming back from Dubai, I ended up getting pretty sick. So I spent this week mostly recovering, working as much as I could, and here we are. But today's Thursday, feeling a bit better, and at what better time could it possibly come? The market is absolutely ripping. I'm here for it. I know you guys are too. We've been waiting for this. Obviously, like altcoins and everything, they're still down quite a bit from our prior positions. Maybe you scooped up some bottoms and things like that. But I know overall they still have a long way to go. But we're seeing some huge jumps in token price. So today I want to talk a little bit about my trip to Dubai, Token2049, SUI Basecamp, and I've got some projects I want to talk about too. So we're going to talk about Big Red, Metacade, SEI, and I've got a new gem that I also want to share that I think has good potential to be a strong runner. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Starting things off, though, if it switches, there we go. Like we can see, like I said, the market's just absolutely ripping. You've got Ethereum up 20%. I'm pretty sure this is actually one of its best days ever since, I think I saw 2018, 2019, something like that. It's never had a bigger green candle before, and it is just absolutely ripping. So I know a lot of people that bought ETH at 4.3K. So they're still down quite a bit, but hey, it's on the right track at least. But aside from ETH, we've got plenty of other big movers. You got Solana up 10%, Doge is even up 13%. Memes are just ripping too. And then SUI up a solid 19%. Like basically everything is double digits if it's worth salt, right? Like that's why Litecoin's only up 5%. I don't know why DOT's up 11%, but then like I said, those memes, Pepe 35%. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, so it's good to see some green finally flooding the streets. But happy to talk about any of those during Q&A if anybody wants to talk about those specifically. But for now, what I want to jump into is Big Red, because Big Red did already have one race this week, and unfortunately it didn't go as well as planned. Now, this is one of the first races I actually missed because I was sick. The race was a little bit later in the evening, and I think I fell asleep by like 6:30 because I was not feeling well. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, didn't really miss too much. Beantown Babe started at the back of the pack and stayed there the entire time. So last place there. But that's all right. There's a lot more races, not a big deal. And I think more often than not, I'm pretty sure 50% of the time or more, Beantown Babe is in the money. And not only that, I was a little bit surprised because last time Beantown Babe started 8th position, actually ended up winning. So, hey, not this time though, but maybe next time. But there is another race this week, and that would be for Lachlan Hanover, and this race is on Saturday. And Bear Squito, who is part of the Big Red community and also an owner of the Big Red stables, partner, right? Or not partner, but part owner due to the NFTs. So he put this nice little thread together so we can run through it, learn a little bit more about Lachlan and how this race is going to go down. So, yeah, here's the first tweet. But then Lachlan does have some equipment changes that are hopefully going to improve his odds, and his health is a bit better now too. So hopefully this puts him in his top form for this race and gets him a much better chance of getting in the money there. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is on here. Okay, cool. And then there are a couple horses that they're considering dark horses for this race. I'm calling them dark horses. They've got them listed as dangers, but dark horse, why not? It is horse racing after all. But we've got Dreamboat Hanover and Mad River. I wonder if Dreamboat Hanover and Lachlan Hanover are related. Not sure. But those are his two main competitors for this race, according to Bear Squito. But I'll just call him Shrek. But yeah, so this is a $30,000 race. Big deal there. As we can see, Lachlan does have $10,000 in earnings, so not doing too bad. And he is one of the favorites to win this race. So hopefully we see that come through. The equipment changes work out. Health is in top shape. looking forward to that. But this race is on Saturday, and it is at, I actually forget, it is at 3:18 p.m. Central Standard Time. So smack in middle of the day. Good time to catch a race on a Saturday. I'll be in the Telegram watching that race with everybody else. Maybe I'll stream it too. That was kind of fun last time. Check it out with everybody. But another project I do want to talk about is Metacade. I actually had the opportunity to go to a Metacade meetup while I was in Dubai. That was a good time. It was really small and intimate. Russ, the Metacade founder, was there, and I was there. And then there was some other project founders and team members and things like that. It wasn't Metacade specifically, but Metacade through the meetup anyways. So that was a great time. But Russ did do a stream today, doing an updated roadmap, going over Clubcade Max, OG reveal, and different questions and answers and things. But the big thing to take out of it is what's coming for Metacade due to Clubcade. Essentially, they're taking a large basket. I think it's around like 60 or 70 different creators now. I forget the exact number, but it's somewhere in that range. And they're essentially going to be incentivizing them to make content, right? And you complete the tasks, you earn rewards. And this is going to be a huge marketing boost for Metacade, because essentially right now they don't have a ton of marketing initiatives, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like Russ talked about in this presentation or hour-long stream, or whatever you want to call it, not a lot of liquidity and volume is going to gaming right now. It's just that simple. Games can be fun and everything, but right now that's not where the volume is. We're starting to see volume come back into AI, RWA, some big layer ones, and most notably, obviously, Bitcoin. But Web3 games are still kind of down and out, hanging on the side by themselves. Now, Metacade is holding strong, but what it really needs is more eyeballs. So this creator initiative is going to get a lot more eyeballs and good light on Metacade as well. Another thing that's coming is the community tab, or whatever you want to call it, for CoinMarketCap, of which Metacade will also be featured in due to their app chain. So that's also going to be a big deal for Metacade. And I believe that rolls out in the next couple weeks here. And, just more eyeballs on the project are good. More people to know that it's there. And also with that, due to it being the app chain built on Base, they're also going to be able to easily get dApps accessible from Coinbase users. So that's also really good. And the great thing about Metacade is that it's not these really long, super time consuming games and everything, or like high skill cap games. They're just easy for people to jump into. So if you do have a casual Coinbase user and they decide to check it out, it's a lot easier for them to get sucked in because the learning curve is much, much lower. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. There are a lot more updates in this Q&A session. They've got things coming for the original holders. Max is going to be going all over the place, which is their new mascot, and all sorts of other things. So I'll be sharing some more things from that in a future video, but I really wanted to get out the Clubcade thing because that is what's going to push the project even further. If you're concerned about the token price, what you need is more eyeballs on the project, which Clubcade is going to give, right? So ultimately, that is the big thing we're waiting for here. Other than that, what's really going to need to happen for these Web3 gaming projects to pick up is just attention to go back on games. A lot of times what we see is in the bear market, that's when attention goes on games because people are bored. There's not a whole lot to do. So what do? You go burn some time, play some games. Everybody likes to burn a little time and play some games. I know plenty of people that do. And if you say you don't want to burn some time playing some games for a little bit, you're probably lying to me. And hey, Ryoshi, nice to see you. Nice to see you. But I do also want to talk about SEI. Now, I want to talk about SEI for a big reason, because I'm seeing a lot of signs that are a precursor of what's to come. And what I mean by that is just recently, a few months back, we had SUI go on a parabolic run, which currently it's on another. But what happened before that run is what's important. What we saw happen was you're starting to see addresses start to pick up, daily active volume pick up, DEXs pick up, and most importantly, bridged volume and TVL picking up, which we're starting to see some of that in SEI. So let's go ahead and run through it. But there is one thing that SEI is proposing that I think is going to set it apart, or not set it apart, but is going to make it better than it ever has been. Because currently SEI is built on the Cosmos SDK, which uses the Go programming language, right? And I know this is all techno babble and may not make a whole lot of sense, but what we're talking about here to really boil it down and make it simple is accessibility. Accessibility for protocols, for wallet makers, everything like that. And easier for users because the experience is something that they're accustomed to. Whereas currently in the Cosmos SDK ecosystem, it's a lot more limited, not as widely programmed for, and just not as accessible. You need a different wallet and everything like that. So it's much more complicated. Well, SEI doesn't want that any longer. SEI no more, SEI says, because they want to get rid of, or not get, well, yeah, get rid of. They want to get, not gaslight. They want to, I can't remember, but basically they want to end their Cosmos SDK portion of their code base, and they want to adopt Solidity and EVM. What that means is basically what I was saying. It's going to make them more accessible to other protocols, more accessible to different dApps, and more accessible to wallet makers and users as a whole. Whereas currently you have to use an entirely unique wallet in order to function with SEI. Instead, you'd be able to use your Rabby wallet or your MetaMask, you know, these very common wallets that tons of people are using. That makes it much easier for somebody to get adopted into the SEI ecosystem. And that's a big deal because in order to have a successful chain, you have to have a lot of users, right? That's no successful chain has no users. That's just how it works. But I think this is going to be a monumental change for SEI if this ends up happening. But that's not all that's going on with SEI. Like I mentioned, we're seeing the precursors to what could be a ginormous run for SEI if all of this continues. So we've got the Giga launch, which is an upgrade that they just went through. But not only that, TVL is also an all-time high. Well, the Giga launch didn't happen yet. It's about to happen. So they've got a huge upgrade coming. Their TVL is at an all-time high. Also, for Q1, their TVL is up 73% since in Q1, quarter over quarter. So Q4 of last year versus Q1 of this year. Their daily active addresses are up 78% quarter over quarter. And their daily transactions are up 59%. Their gaming transactions are up almost 80%. And yeah, I mean, that's just huge. Their stablecoin market cap has hit 178 million. These are all things that we want to see from a chain to be healthy, right? This means that they're generating revenue, which is what we need to see. But also, there's more, because what we really want to see is people coming into the ecosystem. We don't want to just see a protocol launching something, they've got a new product, and it puts $100 million of TVL on the chain. It looks great on paper, but if nobody's actually there using it, or if there's not ecosystem interest, it doesn't really matter, right? But what we're seeing now is people are starting to bridge over money from other chains into SEI. So that means that there is a ongoing interest in the ecosystem, and people are interested enough that they're taking their money from whether it's Solana or Ethereum or even SUI, and they're moving it over to SEI because they want to participate in this ecosystem. Now, these are all the precursors that we saw before the big SUI run-up that we had. So I expect with how this is all currently lining up that we'll continue to see it. And now SEI has had actually a pretty decent day. When SEI first released, it was like a top 30 project, but it has fallen all the way down to like the 80s here. Or maybe it's having that good of a day. Yeah, it's having that good of a day. It's up 14%. So it's rallied pretty hard today. But I do think it's got a lot more room to run. I think it's, especially if they keep going on this track and if they get rid of the Cosmos SDK, it's going to put a good path forward for them to have even more substantial runs, because we're going to see better dApps, more widely used dApps go on to SEI, and things that people are used to. And as you can see, it's also still quite far down from its all-time high too. So there's a lot of room to run in that sense as well. Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, it's almost where it launched basically. But yeah, I think there's a good chance here, good pickup, and hopefully we can see it kind of mimic what we saw SUI do. Now, I do have one gem. Obviously, anymore, the theme of the game is RWAs. So I've got a gem on Base that's an RWA play, and it's caught my attention. And the more I dug into it and what I learned that they just announced really drew me in. So I want to share it with you guys because that's what we're here for. We're here for the alpha. So I'm bringing you some alpha today, despite being sick all week. And what I want to talk about is Liberdom. Liberdom is currently $910,000 market cap. So this is a micro cap. It is tiny. It is small, but doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay attention to it. That's actually why I'm going to pay attention to it. But Liberdom is on Base, and it is an RWA project. What they're trying to tokenize is the very typical things that we see, such as real estate, treasuries, all the typical things. But they've got some special things that kind of help set it apart. So what are those things? First off, their tokenomics, they're pretty solid. We got 50,000 tokens, or 50 million tokens, in the treasury, and those 50 million are still there. I looked earlier. The team tokens also, those are there too. So 50 million team tokens, and then we've got 8 million for staking rewards, 6 million for marketing and airdrop, 28 million for ecosystem and partners, and 58 million for exchange liquidity. Now, it is already on an exchange. It's on MEXC, and it's doing actually decent volume there for a project this size. We got 55,000 in volume in the last 24 hours. When you're talking about a sub $1 million market cap, that's pretty good. But what I really want to talk about is what they're doing and what's going on. So what they are is they're tokenizing real estate, debt, private equity, and treasuries, like I mentioned. Right. So basically all the other things that we have that are doing the same, Ondo and everything like that. But they've got, like I mentioned, they do have some special things that I'll get to. But one of the things that they have that is special is a specialized RWA DEX called the BDEX, or the bonding DEX. And this is really interesting, the way that they're going to be handling the assets within it and what they're doing with it specifically. Just today, the founder released an update. It's about a 10-minute long update, and where he went over some of his things that he figured out in Dubai, different people he met, and project updates, obviously. Some of those updates that I'll share, because these are the critical ones that I picked out. They have now partnered with a realtor in Dubai that's been in business in Dubai for over 15 years, and this partner is there to bring RWA assets on chain and bring up to potentially 20% APY. Which is pretty solid. I mean, when you think about it, real estate investing and things like that, that's a solid return. And they will have a lockup at max 18 months, but they're aiming for like more 12 months. There will be other things that won't have a lockup, but I think that's fair to say. Typically with housing and things like that, you've got some sort of contract, so you want to lock those things in. Right. But the big thing, one of the big things, is that they were accepted by the Dubai Financial Services Authority to tokenize real world assets. So that means that they have permission from the Dubai government in order to do this with Dubai assets. Right. This is a big deal because they're not operating behind closed doors and trying to like sneak around or anything like that. And they're also still a pretty small project. So to be able to get a license like that, I think is a pretty big deal. But they also, now this is the crazy one, they are the first and the only company in the world to receive a license for tokenized crowdfunding. Very interesting. This is a new initiative that Dubai came out with, and they are the first and only project to receive the ability to do this. And that's going to allow them to basically crowdfund to buy houses and flip them, and anything else you can think of where you need to raise money first. Typically, especially in blockchain, especially in the US, this is a big no-no, right? That's what makes it a security and not allowed. But they have the green light to do this legally, and that's a pretty big deal. It's going to make them able to do much, much more. The capabilities get much greater with that license. Also, when their DEX launches, which is actually supposed to be within the next couple weeks, it's going through the last phases of testing. You've got different UI changes they're going through. They're getting it audited. So, there's some final stages they've got to go through, but that's going to be launching in just a couple weeks. And with that, they will immediately be launching with assets that they already own so that people can buy a piece of the pie and stake it to get rewarded, right? So that's a pretty big deal as well. They're not like, okay, now that we've got the platform live, you bring us the assets. No, they're already going to have them, and it's going to be ready to go. So this is a functioning product right out the gate as soon as it launches. Now, the yield, right? Everybody wants to know about the yield. So you buy your stakes, you buy your slice of pie, right? And then what happens is you have to stake it in order to get the yield, right? Makes sense. I think that's fair. But if somebody doesn't stake it, what happens? So let's just say only 80% of people actually end up staking their tokens, right? The other 20% forget, they didn't know they had to, whatever it may be. That 20%, the project is actually going to buy back using the yield that they would have given those people. They're going to buy back the token and burn it. So now there's also going to be a burn mechanism that's built into the token. And this is not a unlimited supply token. It is capped out at 200 million. So that's a good thing. Burning would be good, right? We want to take tokens out of circulation. Good overall. And lastly, like I mentioned, the DEX is going to be going live in a couple weeks. I think that there is big upside here. I've been watching this project for a couple weeks now, but I didn't really want to share them until there was like I thought that they had promising potential, but I was a little bit worried, like, was something ever going to happen or anything like that? Because as you can see, they have been out for about a year, and the chart does not look good when you zoom out. Let's just be real here. But now that they're coming out with these big announcements and they're getting these licenses and they're going to be allowed to do business, it makes them much, much more attractive. And that's why today we're seeing them up 24%. Unfortunately, I didn't do this stream in the morning like I originally planned to, because, hey, you could have caught 20% of those gains or so. But I think that they've still got a ton of room to run. I mean, come on, they're only 900K market cap, so they've definitely got a lot more room to run. Other than that, though, I will talk about my trip to Dubai a little bit. It was a good trip. Token2049 is what I basically started off with. And I'm going to be honest, it's my third time going to Token2049. Last year, I went to the one in Dubai and the one in Singapore. This year, I don't know if I'm going to the one in Singapore, but obviously I just got back from the one in Dubai, and I was not impressed this year. It wasn't a good conference. The people there were great, but that came with a lot of caveats. So it was just entirely packed like sardines. You couldn't move around. You couldn't get through there. You were moving shoulder to shoulder. Typically, when you go to these conferences, everybody's got a name tag so they can see somebody and know if they want to talk to them. It says who they work with, what they do, etc. But it was so packed in there, you couldn't even make out the name tag. So then I finally make my way over to the expo hall where all the different projects and everything are supposed to be. And what is it? Nothing but exchanges. I don't go to conferences to talk to exchanges. I go to conferences to talk to upcoming projects and different chains, ones that I've wanted to connect with, ones that I want to learn more about. I don't go to conferences to talk to 15 different exchanges. That's the last thing you guys want to talk about. That's the last thing you guys want to know about. You just want to know, is the token listed there and is it KYC free? That's all that really matters. I don't know why projects didn't go this year. I mean, it is expensive to get these boosts, so it does make sense. The only thing that's been moving is Bitcoin, but it was not, I can't imagine how many people, especially if they were like a retail investor and they really wanted that conference experience with all the projects and everything, they just had to feel so shafted. I went one day and I probably spent like 2.5, 3 hours, and there was no reason to go back. So it was pretty disappointing, Token2049 was. But I did get to run into some great people, meet some new people, and people I've met before, got to catch up with them. So it wasn't all bad. But I just would have liked to see a lot more projects and chains there. I think that would have made time a lot better for sure. But the real highlight of the trip was the SUI Basecamp for sure. SUI Basecamp was epic. It was epic last year, and it was even better this year. And also, they had several different meme coins there with booths, so that was pretty cool. Phantom was there, and they had a booth too. Also, SUI was there showing off their new handheld gaming device. That looks pretty slick, nice and good. I personally have a Steam Deck, right? The handheld Steam Deck. And it looked pretty similar to that, felt just about as good. It didn't seem like a cheap device by any means. So I don't know, performance wise, I haven't looked at like how well it compares or anything like that, but it seemed like a pretty solid device, nice crisp screen. Even Lofi was there. They had a booth, and they were giving away some crazy merch and stuff. They had stuff there reserved that were just for people that held a Lofi NFT too. And it was actually like this pretty cool sweater. I almost bought the NFT because the NFT was like $15 at the time, just so I could get one. And then I forgot. So I didn't end up getting one. But I met a couple cool games as well that are there and built on SUI. So overall, SUI Basecamp, super solid, really good. Would definitely go back again. It was a good time. But yeah, I mean, other than that, though, went to some good side events, met some good people. Really, that's what the conferences are always all about, are the side events, getting to connect with people, just networking, really, like opening up doors. What kind of doors can I open for you? How can we collaborate? I love helping people and connecting people. So it's just easy and fun to do. It's a great way to build a relationship too, help somebody out, help them get to a goal, something like that, right? Fortunately, I'm fortunate enough to be very well connected in the space because of working with Cryptos R Us for so long now. And I have that ability to do that. I can put people in contact with chains or different marketers or whatever it may be, whether it's designers or builders, chains, exchanges. Granted, they probably don't need any help with exchanges. There was enough at Token that they could get their fill. But outside of that, though, yeah, that's about how it went. I came back on Saturday morning, and I left Dubai Saturday morning at 9 a.m., and I got back home at like 4 p.m. on Saturday due to going backwards, right, in time. So even though it was a 14-hour flight, landed home in the afternoon on Saturday, and then I got incredibly sick. The people on the plane were just being disgusting and rude, zero hygiene, coughing and sneezing all over the place, never covering their mouth. And I was hopeful that I'd be okay. But lo and behold, it kicked me anyways. So yeah, that kicked my ass for a couple days, but I'm back. Outside of that though, check in on chat here. Looks like we got Mozzie here too. What's going on, Mozzie? Happy Thursday here. I know in Asia we are going on Friday now, but happy Friday. I hope you have a kick-ass Friday and it's great. But yeah, I'm happy to do some Q&A, chat with you guys, see what's going on. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week, enjoying these gains, enjoying the green. Finally, we're finally getting a lot of green and not just on Bitcoin. Hopefully you'll stay. You know, a lot of this can kind of just go away if Trump opens his mouth. You're Australia? Yeah, there you go. You're even earlier, or well, later. But that's awesome. I actually met a few people from Australia, a couple different Australian creators too while I was in Token. Yeah, I really want to go to Australia. And they were not swaying me, that's for sure. They want me to go. And everything they told me just kept me wanting to go. One day I'll get out there. I got to get to Australia and New Zealand. That's on the list. But yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot them in chat. I'll probably stick around another 5 or 10 minutes if there's any other questions. If not, I'll go do something else. Mazzy asks, what's the next event I'm heading to? Bitcoin Vegas. Yeah, I think like 2 weeks from now, I'll be in Vegas for the Bitcoin conference. That's always a good time. It's going to be really interesting that it's in Vegas this time. It's always in Miami. Last year it was in Nashville. Nobody liked Nashville, so they moved it to Vegas. A lot of Bitcoin degens when Bitcoin's cracking 100K in Vegas sounds like a crazy time. So it's going to be very interesting. But I always like the Bitcoin conference. It's also more B2B, very B2B actually. A lot of industrial miners and stuff there, but I've seen some really cool stuff. Like the first year I went, they're straight up submerging miners in liquid to cool them and everything. It's cool stuff. I love tech. My background's in tech, so I find it interesting. But for a lot of people, it might not be so interesting. And yeah, I'll let you know if I hit up Australia, Mazzy. Love to link up. We'll grab a beer. Then after, I don't know. I don't know how many trips I have this year, but that's not it. Like, I think now I'm supposed to go to the Czech Republic in October. There's talks about going to Korea Blockchain Week. That's later in the year. I think that's like August or so. There's also a conference in Bali, I believe, that is in August too, that somebody wants me to go to. So I might be going to that too. NFT New York, no, probably not going to NFT New York. Not a lot of interest of Cryptos R Us to go to NFT New York. So a lot of these events I end up going to are due to Cryptos R Us. So yeah, George doesn't like NFTs. I'm not big on NFTs either, but I sure do love my Big Red NFT. And then there's like On-Chain Summer in San Francisco. I might be going to that. There's I think in a month or two there's the Avalanche Summit in London. I might be going to that. So yeah, it's just a whole lot of events. Trying to get me at the track. Hopefully soon. There's a race, I think, in June at the Little Brown Jug in Ohio. It's like 4 hours from me. So I might make it out to that one. I don't make it to the East Coast very often. So these races that are in like New Jersey and Philadelphia and stuff like that, like it's just not somewhere I go. So like I've got to make a specific trip out there just for that, which I want to, and I totally am down to. I just can't do it in the middle of all these other events and stuff. I'm gone so much, Cass already wants to kill me. So I've got to be careful and make sure I can take her with to that. But yeah, I've got some other projects I'm keeping my eyes on too. Now that the market's ripping, I'm going to have to get a little bit more aggressive with bringing up some of these different projects and stuff because I want to make sure I get them out in time. Sometimes I like to sit on them a little bit until I've got some confirmation or a little bit more information, especially with the smaller projects. But if the market's going to stay like this, it's going to be time. And I'm just happy to see memes coming back. I love memes. So, man, I've been buying dips though. So I'm liking this day anyways. I just don't think it's time to solely talk about memes yet because there's still not a whole lot of interest. Not a lot of people are talking about them anyways. So, yeah. But I'm always looking at them. I'm always buying them. And I'm always enjoying the memes. Man, I was talking about buying Toshi again, about it being at a good spot early April. It's up almost 100% from then. So if anybody bought Toshi, congrats. I mean, 100% in this market, any market, nothing to shake a stick at. That was a good pickup. Definitely a good pickup. There were some others I was talking about too, like what was it? Wasn't Popcat. I can't remember. It wasn't Mog. Maybe it was Popcat. There was one specifically that we caught the bottom of. It might have been Popcat. Let's see. Where to go? Because I'm pretty sure it just ripped off that bottom, like completely ripped. Yeah, it was PopCap. We caught the bottom of PopCap, up 278% since then. That's what we're talking about, baby. A lot more of that to come. These memes, man, these memes bounce back so hard when the market recovers. Like, it's just unbelievable how much they bounce back. That's why whenever the market gets real nasty and memes start coming down really hard, that's the first place I go. I don't go and buy SUI at, where I think it's undervalued or whatever. I don't go and buy, I don't even run to buying Bitcoin at this point. Like, if it's above 90K, like, I'll buy it still. But like, that's not where I run to. Where I run to is what meme coins are heavily oversold and will bounce back hard. So all these like memes that have been around a while, like your Popcat, your Mog, your Doge. I mean, even Doge is up heavy today. I'm not even sharing my screen. But even Dog with Hat, Mog was another that we were talking about. Always talking about Snack. I love Toshi. Yeah. These, like, Moodang's up 91% today. Holy shit. Ticker Bitcoin, man. I love Ticker Bitcoin. Good friends with the CEO over there. Up 41% today. Love to see that for those guys. That's another one that I talk about a ton. Look at that. They're up 117% this month. Yeah, buddy. I think it's time to start doing some more meme streams. You guys want more memes? Boop. I'm ignoring Boop like hot garbage. Boop's hot garbage. Yeah, when this crap launched, Degen, I said that it wasn't nothing. And it is just bad. Degen's bad. I think it's down pretty terribly. Let's see. Yeah, that's rough. Hit 800 million, down to 48 million now. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of memes that are heavily down, but like there's no reason for it to go to 800 million in the first place. Any opinion on Titcoin? You've seen it all over X. Actually, I just learned about Titcoin a little while ago too. I saw it on X, and I saw this chick do a backflip, and they popped out. But she caught him, so I guess that's good. But let's see where it's at. What about Fartcoin? I like Fartcoin. I think Fartcoin will continue to do well. It's one of those things like, I'm not saying that like I love fart jokes or anything like that, but it's one of those things that most people will forever find funny, and it just works. But I like Fartcoin. It's continuously a very solid runner. It's still down pretty heavy. I think it's got lots of room to run still. I know I'm kind of jumping Titcoin here now, but Fartcoin still has a lot of potential. This is running super slow. Hey, it's back over $1 billion too. That's great. Yeah, like it's almost back to, not almost back to all-time high, about 80% away from all-time high, but, or 80% down from all-time high. Yeah, I think Fartcoin's going to be really strong this cycle, and it might even become a long-term blue chip, you know? So I like it. Titcoin, man. This tit is on fire. Yeah, hit all-time high today at 42 mil. How are the holders looking? We got some pretty good distribution here. 60% in the bottom 20,000 wallets. That's good. No huge wallet holders. The LPs pretty thin on tokens there. 2.7% of supply in tokens there. Going to be, how thin is this LP? Yeah, it's going to be a little easy to move the price on this bad boy. Bubble maps doesn't look bad, although it looks bad in general. Like, what's going on here? Did bubble maps change their crap? Come on. It's not com, it's .io. Rusty. These guys want me to pay thousands of dollars to access their on-demand tool, which is just frustrating. There we go. That looks more like it should look. So Bubble Maps doesn't look terrible either. They're only linking a few wallets. Yeah, not bad. That's your X page? Are you talking about the one that I was talking about with the video? Was that yours? I saw that. I bet if I search it, it'll just come up too. Yeah, this is the one I saw. Yeah, this is the exact post I saw. I knew I could find it. I don't know, man. Titcoin could be good. It's launched on Pump Fund, one of the few that made it out of the trenches and aren't utterly destroyed right now. Doesn't look like I don't have my bundle checker on this computer, but I can check later if it is bundled, and we can find out. Oh, you're always changing your YouTube name, Shrek. Yeah, I was talking to you. I was talking about you at the beginning of the stream. You'll have to go back and watch. I was talking about you and your post. Good. Thank you for the good thread and the good information. It makes it easier for me to do my job, Shrek. I don't know, man. I'm liking Titcoin. And if the market keeps ripping, it ain't the time to sit and wait. What else they got? We don't have a website. We just got a Twitter, it looks like. And who doesn't like tits? I love tits. The breast meme. Love it. The breast meme. They got good engagement, or yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess, how could you have bad engagement? It's just a bunch of hot chicks. So, like, I guess it makes sense. I'm just like spam opening tabs now. But do they have a website? I'm not going to click on those. Not right now, anyways. This is like homework for later. So no real website or anything like that. They are just tits because they are the breast meme. How's their X community? I want to see latest. X has been trashed today. I tried to join this spaces. I was supposed to talk or whatever, and it rugged like 5 times in a row, and I gave up. I was like, not doing this. Yeah, this is going to get me banned from YouTube if I keep scrolling this. So I'll just I'll chill out on the Titcoin for now. But oh my God, I can't get away from them. But I like it. I like it. I think this is going to be something we are going to have to watch a lot more. Am I signed in on this deck screener? No, I'm not. I'll have to sign in and add it to my watch list. But yeah, any other questions or anything like that? Happy to go through things, check anything out. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Been 45 minutes. I don't want to steal too much of your guys' precious time. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. I know I was gone for a good week and a half or so. Didn't want to be. Fully intended on streaming and putting out videos while I was in Dubai. But like I said, the internet there just did not have it in for me. The hotel I was at had the worst internet. So, yeah. But I'm back. I will be streaming tomorrow evening. I will be streaming. So stay tuned to my X for an update on what time that will be at. Probably around the same time. I want to try and keep them consistent, but some days it's just out of my control and I'm not able to. But I can set a very scheduled stream for Fridays. So we'll say tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Crap. Actually, I think I have an anniversary. No, I'm doing the anniversary dinner on Saturday. So if I don't have my anniversary dinner tomorrow night, I will be streaming at 6:30. But if I've got to have my anniversary dinner, might be doing that instead. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy these gains. Appreciate you all tuning in with me and hanging out, even though I disappeared for a good week and a half. Hope you guys are getting lots of solid gains, looking for some good pickups. If there's anything you want me to check out, drop it in the comments down below, and I will do my best before next stream, or I'll just check it out live on stream tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for tuning in with me, guys. Make sure you do check out Liberium. I think it's, or Librum, sorry, Libertum. I think there's a good, solid opportunity here, especially with it under 1 mil market cap still. So I'm going to be paying real close attention to this. But other than that, guys, hopefully Trump keeps his mouth shut and we can continue chasing and enjoying these gains. So have a great evening, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Peace.